Welcome to Doc's Download, the podcast edition, where real conversations meet real Buckeye life. I'm your host, Dr. Melissa Shivers, Senior Vice President for Student Life, and better known as Doc, here to bring you stories, strategies, and a few laughs along the way. Whether you're a brand new Buckeye or a seasoned one, consider this your all-access pass to tips, truths, and triumphs straight from the heart of campus. Let's dive in, everybody. Welcome back to Doc's Download, the podcast edition, where we unpack leadership, life, and lessons with a little bit of heart, a whole dash of fun, and a lot of authenticity. I am your host, Dr. Melissa Shivers, better known as Doc, and I am so excited about today's episode. We're going to shake things up a little bit. If you follow Doc's Download at all, at least the podcast version, you know that I typically have the opportunity to visit with just incredible Buckeyes, and I get to ask them a ton of questions. I get to be all in their business. But today they're flipping it on me, where I get to be the person who answers questions and shares a little bit about who I am beyond being just the Senior Vice President for Student Life at Ohio State. So I am so excited that I'm going to get to spend time today with Juliana Logan, who is an incredible rock star student at Ohio State, who also works in our office. And so I am trusting Juliana with my being and my persona today. And I know that it's going to be just a ton of fun. So Juliana, I gave a soft introduction of who you are, but I think it would probably be great for our audience to hear from you a little bit about who is Juliana Logan.
Hi everyone. My name is Juliana Logan. I am a fourth year, and I'm from Northeast Ohio. I am going to be graduating here upcoming in May, and I am graduating with a world politics degree. After graduation, I'm hoping to work in state government and take some of the knowledge and life lessons that I've learned here in student life and take that into the political realm.
That's so incredible. I think it's so much fun, Juliana, to hear how students who work in our office or work in other offices across Ohio State are able to take what they've learned during their time here and get ready to actually apply it out in the real world. And you know how I feel. I want you all to graduate, but I'm also really sad when you do. But very, very proud of you and excited that we get to spend this time together today. You've worked for us for a long time, so it only made sense for you to put me on the hot seat for today. So I am very excited about jumping right in.
Me too. All right. So let's get started. Let's start talking about your career. I want to get some insights into how you made it to where you are today. Looking back, did you always know that you wanted to work in higher education? And how did you navigate your own college experience?
Great question, loaded question. So I'm going to start with the last question and then back myself into the beginning. So I did not have any plans of working in higher education. That was not the ultimate goal. I was a communication arts, broadcast journalism major. I did my undergrad at Georgia Southern University. And I just knew that I would be working at ESPN. That was the long-term goal. Wow. And then just due to life situations and quite frankly, needing to get out and get a job that offered benefits, I pivoted back into going back to my undergrad. So I went back to Georgia Southern, started working in the admissions office, and little did I know then that I was already working in student affairs.
Yes.
And so now, almost 30 years in, I have become a higher education, student affairs, career professional, and I wouldn't change a thing about it. Being an undergrad really provided me, I think, the opportunity to consider what else life had to offer.
Yeah.
Being from a very small town, I hadn't had the exposure of what it could be, how life could be. And attending Georgia Southern gave me an opportunity to interact with people that I never would have had the opportunity to do, to also be involved and to get connected with faculty and staff who really helped to shape my career and my identity, was life-changing for me. And so now, working in higher ed, I get to be in a role that allows me to engage with students, partner with our staff, work with incredible colleagues at Ohio State, that I still get to live out in some ways my love for athletics. When you're at Ohio State, there's just 36 programs here, right, that you can cheer for and get to
only
know.
36.
Only 36, like all of them.
Yes.
So I still get to live my best life in that space, but also get to continue doing the sort of heart work that has become such a big part of my life.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And definitely coming to Ohio State, there is, of course, the football team, but also everything else. I mean, our dance team also just won national championship.
Oh my gosh.
We're in the thick of March Madness right now. There is so many athletic teams and so many things to support here. So I'm really glad that you're able to merge those two things. And I feel like it's the perfect place here at Ohio State to merge the love of athletics and higher education.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, working here in this office, a lot of you guys have become mentors to me. And I've also found a love of higher education. Like you said, you found yourself working and you're like, hey, this is, me working in higher education. I found myself in the same situation. So who along the way were mentors for you that kind of maybe helped you during that shift of going from working when you wanted to work at ESPN and sports broadcasting to making that shift to working in higher education? Was there anyone along the way that helped you or supported you or made the transition easier?
Yeah, what a great question. And I love reflecting on the people that helped to create the path and the folks that continue to be a big supporter of me. One person that I think about immediately is Dr. Jane Addams Dunford, who is a assistant vice president at Western Carolina University. When I first joined student affairs as a profession and I attended my first professional conference, she was one of those people that immediately adopted me and said, I'm going to show you the way of how to navigate higher ed and specifically student affairs. I think about Dr. Bob Glenn, who is at one point the vice president for student affairs at Middle Tennessee State University and just retired as a president. Bob is someone, we're very different people, but Bob is brilliant when it comes to navigating these spaces of higher ed, supporting students and staff. And so I still reach out to Bob Glenn to this day. I literally just heard from him the day before yesterday, just checking in on me. When I think about my path and I think about my family, my mom, again, I'm first generation, so she wasn't quite sure of how to navigate a higher ed environment. But boy, what she did do for me was support me, cheer me on, encourage me to keep doing what it is that I'm doing. And that, to me, has probably made the largest impact, is just having that permission and that support to have pivoted, but then to have somehow found the calling that I didn't even know was an option. And really immersing myself in this space.
Yeah. Mothers are amazing. They
are
are your first support system.
Yes.
So going back to, I guess we can kind of jump ahead to transitioning into being a Buckeye. So before you came to Ohio State, you were at the University of Tennessee, correct?
I was at University of Iowa right before coming to Ohio State, but was at Tennessee as the Associate Vice Chancellor and Dean of Students. And I've been at Tennessee a total of 7 years.
So
wow. It was a great experience.
So you've gotten, a little bit, different flavors of different colleges and everything. So what was the transition like being a Buckeye? Like, were you always a Buckeye fan, or was it a little bit more of a transition period? And then what is your favorite thing about being a Buckeye now?
I'm going to start with your last question first, because I think your first question is going to get me in trouble. So the last question of sort of what's my favorite thing about being a Buckeye. I tell people this all the time. I love being in an airport, and 99% of the time, I am always wearing Ohio State gear. I never really get rid of my admissions background because you're always recruiting and you're always representing the institution. But what is so incredible is that when you're in the airport and you have on anything Ohio State, It doesn't matter what airport you're in. Somebody's going to yell OH. And if you don't give back an emphatic IO, you get sort of looked at weird. Like, are you supposed to be wearing that gear? If you don't understand what to do, sort of the call and response to OH and IO, you're questioned. I love that.
Yes.
I love it. I think we annoy people all over the world
We
when we do it.
Far and wide.
We travel far.
Everywhere.
We are everywhere. I mean,
And
everywhere.
I love it.
And I love every single
You always
second
have
of
a
it.
sense of community.
Always.
Wherever you go.
Always. You don't have to know each other at all,
Yeah.
but the bond and the connection
Correct.
that merely wearing the scarlet and gray creates is
Yes.
unlike anything I've ever experienced. So that level of community building wherever you go is probably my most favorite thing about being a Buckeye.
Yes.
I will tell you, and I know I'm going to get really beat up around this. I grew up in Georgia,
Yes.
small town in Georgia. 20 minutes from the University of Georgia.
Okay.
And so very strong influence of being a Georgia Bulldog.
Yes.
But I will tell you, when I was young, we did not have cable television in my home. So we were able to get 4 channels, and one of them was the Jefferson Pilot Network.
Okay.
And the Jefferson Pilot Network only showed Clemson football games.
Really?
And so I, again, started loving sports so
Yes.
long ago. I mean, I was a cheerleader since 4th grade.
Oh.
And so I loved football.
Yes.
Obsessed with football. And I became obsessed with Clemson football.
Really?
And obsessed. And so when my sister decided to go to school there, I was so envious. She got a full academic scholarship.
Oh, that's
She's such a
amazing.
whiz. Like, she is
Yes.
brilliant. But I've always loved Clemson football.
Mm-hmm.
Funny story, though, when I accepted the job here at Ohio State, we were going to the bowl game, Fiesta Bowl.
Okay.
And in 2019, and I'd accepted the job, and they were like, you can go to the game. So I paid for me and my family to go to the game. And it was Ohio State Clemson.
Really?
And so everybody asked, because I graduated from Clemson with my master's degree, who you're going to be cheering for.
Yeah.
And my sister and my nephews, completely Clemson fans, right? Like,
Yes.
they don't know anything else. And so I said, hey, guys, we're going in support of Ohio State. So I need you to dial that orange and white back a little bit. And they did. They've been wonderful about it.
Really?
But this is the place that has gotten me to. If you ask me who I'm cheering for, if
Yeah.
it's Clemson, Ohio State, I'm going to say Ohio State.
Good. Correct answer.
Georgia, when we play Georgia, it's always a challenge.
So you have fully taken on the
Fully.
Buckeye spirit.
Fully. My
That is amazing.
friends from Clemson and Georgia say, did you forget about us? Like, what's happening? Because everything on your page is around scarlet and gray.
Yes.
So, long story short, I was born and bred to be, I think, a Clemson Tiger fan just based on circumstance and situation, and have learned my ways. I've learned the error of my ways.
Well, we're very lucky to have you. We're one of the proudest and loudest Buckeye fans. And, you know, it's all over this office, and you are always a Buckeye fan through and through. It doesn't matter what sport, but we're very lucky to have you.
I am grateful
On
that people
joining the
will
team.
accept me. Everybody, please forgive me for that admission. I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's a very interesting journey. And as you just talked about, you are, you know, very, very busy. You have, you know, so much to be proud of and have an incredible journey. How do you separate your work life and like not taking that home with you? Do you have anything that you like to do to unwind, or any favorite hobbies that you have, or stuff just to practice self-care and taking care of yourself?
That's a really great question, and I wish that I had a better answer. The answer that is true is that this role is a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
Working in higher ed, and specifically in student affairs, it's really a 24/7 operation.
Yeah.
With students living on campus, students living in and around the community, it's important that I am available and accessible, and that sometimes means 24/7, 2 in the morning, 6 in the morning, 4 in the afternoon. So it's a role that's difficult to say when I go home, I take off my student life hat. I don't really get to do that.
Yeah.
However, I do try to do other things that allow me, in the meantime, when I'm not getting phone calls at 2 in the
Yes.
morning, I do try to find other things that I really enjoy. I love movies.
Okay.
I love reading. I don't get to do that nearly as much as I would like. I love fashion.
Yes.
I love the opportunity to spend time with my family and friends.
Yes.
That's really, really important to me. Football season is much more difficult for me to travel and get home.
Yeah.
Because I get to cheer on the Buckeyes every single Saturday.
That's amazing.
But family and friends continue to be important
Yeah.
to me, and I carve out time to be able to invest in those relationships as well.
That's amazing. And it's also very hard to balance that too, with work and family and friends, but it seems like you're, trying to do that. And I think that's a really great thing. Back to the fashion, we should talk about the fashionista side of Doc. And over the summer, you launched fashionista. But yeah, you launched a new Instagram called the Scarlet and Styled SVP, which has already gained hundreds of followers and has allowed you to share your outfits of the days and your favorite fashion brands. Where did you gain this fashion inspiration from?
It's so funny. Like, I've always loved clothes. I've always loved dressing up. I mean, I think if you ask my mom, I would prefer to be dressed up every day, going absolutely nowhere than not. And I think that fashion, for me, has become a way of expression, of more about who I am.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt that scarlet and gray is really easy to style and to wear. And
some great colors.
So I have embraced that fully. But also I think it's funny to me when you are in a senior level type position in any organization, but I'm going to speak specifically about higher ed. There's a view of how we are. Right?
Yeah.
There's a traditional way of dress. There's a traditional way that we engage.
Yes.
And I think we're in a time in our society where we get to bump up against those traditional things.
I agree.
And really start to be more creative and align our personalities, for me, with the things that I like to wear. I certainly used to be very much a two-piece suit sort of professional.
Yeah.
And then I've really just come to realize that that's a part of who I am, but I also love to have fun with color and style. I don't know. Students kept asking me, Doc, how do you put all of your stuff together? And I finally just said, well, let me just create an account. There's this whole social media world that exists. Let me just create an account that sort of gives me an opportunity to share the things that I love to do. And fashion is one of those things I love. I love big balloon pants. I love technical jackets with high collars. And I make them work for work too. And I hope that my account gives people inspiration to step outside of what's been traditionally known as this is what you wear to work, or this is what you wear for play. And I hope that has been as fun for them as it has been.
I think it has. I mean, speaking, for me, I loved waking up and being like, oh, let's see what Doc is wearing today. It was one of the first things on my feed, and I really loved it. And I also love, every day coming into the office and seeing what outfit you have on. And it's always so fun and always sparks up a conversation too, you know what I mean? And I feel like that goes with your personality of that you said that you're always recruiting and always wanting to talk to people. And I feel like how you hold yourself and how you dress and everything, it definitely does, someone's like, oh, like I also went to Ohio State, but like where did you get that piece? You know what I mean? And that's a really great gateway to talking about, the role that you have and the great institution that you work for. But yeah, so you kind of already touched on it a little bit, but how would you say that adding a touch of scarlet and gray helps you set the tone for having a productive day?
Oh gosh. I mean, some people say to me, do you wear anything other than scarlet and gray? And I was like, look at these pictures. Yeah, I do. One day this week I wore green. One day this week I actually wore green. But it makes me so happy because I love what I get to do. And I love where I work. And so it's easy to want to wear the colors to represent such a great institution.
Yes.
And that in itself helps me to get up and get going every day, to show up every single day, proud of what I get to do and where I get to do it.
Yeah.
That matters a ton to me. Even on the rough days, even when I know it's going to be a rough day, putting on that scarlet and gray reminds me that it's bigger than just me.
That
I get the opportunity. It's a gift to be a Buckeye.
Yeah.
And wearing the scarlet and gray is something that I take a lot of pride in. I mean, I came in and made Friday Scarlet and Gray Friday, right? Like, if you're not wearing scarlet and gray on Friday, I'm real sad. I'm like, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
love the Scarlet and Gray Fridays.
We love Scarlet and Gray
Yes.
Fridays, right? But
Yes.
it's just a big part, I think, of the identity and being proud
Yeah.
of the place that you work.
And that's amazing. I really, really, I love that answer. That was a really great answer. How would you say that your wardrobe has evolved? You know, like, was it always like this? And like you said, like, you always were, you know, the professional that wore the 2-piece sets. When did you finally make that transition and like, we're like, you know what, this is something I'm going to step more into?
You know, it's so funny. And people ask me questions about sort of, when did you decide this? And when did you make the decision about that? And I go back to when I turned 50.
Yeah.
There was just a moment that just clicked for me around being exactly who I am.
Yes.
On the weekends, I love denim. I love, you know, tall boots. I love vests. I love blazers with T-shirts. And so I'm like, why can't I allow that part of my personality
Yeah.
to show during the week? Not the denim and knee boots all the time, but certainly
Still having that spark.
still having that spark
Yes.
and fun. And honestly, when I turned 50, so many things about whatever it was I believed had to be a professional, how it was defined being a professional, certainly still honor that.
Yes.
But I also felt like I had permission to be more of me than I'd ever been.
Yeah.
And my attire changed. It evolved from just sort of keeping things for weekend wear to figuring out, how do I make this work
In
for
the professional setting.
an office? It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be denim, but like, one of the things I love is an Adidas peplum skirt.
Okay.
It's like the Adidas track pants, but
Yes.
it's a skirt. So it's like a bubble skirt that I now wear with blazers and heels.
I love that.
So people are
That
like,
is
how did
amazing.
you like get to that place?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I mean, it's a skirt.
Yeah, and I
It's
love
a
this
long
piece.
skirt.
Yes.
And I have some fun blazers. So let's just let's just dress it up.
Yeah.
And I love that. So I just take the pieces, and this is one of the things I don't think people recognize. I take a lot of the pieces that I already had,
Yeah.
and I repurpose them to make them work for me during the work week in a way that allows, like this jacket. I mean, it's a technical jacket with a
Yeah.
high collar. It's probably not supposed to be worn to work, but we're wearing it to work with some flowy pants and boots, right?
And it looks
Like,
amazing.
and you just figure out how to make it
Yes.
how to make it work. But my personality, I allowed for that to be more to show up in my
Yes.
clothes, and that has been very freeing
Yeah.
and fun.
Yes.
Actually.
And I've loved watching it too. And also being a young woman that's about to step into the professional place too, especially somewhere like the State House in politics, you know, that is a different realm as well,
Yes.
with, you know, very strict rules, but also
Yes.
I also love that you're kind of paving this path for younger women to also be like, it is okay to wear your favorite color, to wear that pop of pink, to wear that pop of red,
Yes.
to wear, you know, as long as you are still professional and, you know, doing your job and, you know, who said you
Yes.
can't look great while doing it?
I love
So,
that.
Yeah. All right, Doc. So to wrap up this episode, we have one last segment.
Okay.
And we are going to do rapid fire questions.
I like doing these. I like posing these questions for others. I'm not sure that I'm prepared.
No, it's okay.
to
You're
be-
gonna you're gonna be totally
all
great.
right,
So
let's
we're
do
gonna
this.
we're gonna have 10 questions.
Okay.
And I want you to give an answer as quickly as you can.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You don't want me to think? Okay.
Yeah, just say whatever the first thing is. If you need a second, that's okay.
Okay.
We won't
You'll
be
give me
timing
some-
you,
okay,
but like
thank you.
see what you can
Okay.
just right off the dome.
Let's go.
All right, are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, first
do it.
question. If you had a walk-up song, what would it be?
I want to dance with somebody.
Oh,
Whitney
that's a
Houston.
good one. That's a good one.
For sure.
Aside from Scarlet and Gray, what is your favorite color?
Pink and green.
Love.
My sorority colors.
Oh, aw.
Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Pets, yes or no?
No.
Okay. Who is the most famous person that you have ever met?
The most famous person
Yes.
that I've ever met. Oh, this is so tough. Well, I saw Jack Sawyer
Oh,
in Hudson
yes.
29.
Yes.
Just randomly. And so I went up to him. It was really awkward. And I said, "You're like the best. Can we take a picture?" And he was like, "Yeah."
That's awesome. He's
That
a
was
Pittsburgh
so
Steeler
from
now.
Ohio State.
Yes.
Most famous person I ever met, I would say Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I like that one. Are there any shows right now that you're binge watching?
I did His and Hers
Okay.
on Netflix.
Yes.
Incredible.
I've heard a lot of good things.
Wowzer. That is so good.
I'll have to check
His
it
and
out.
Hers. You got to watch
yes,
that.
I will check it out. I've heard lots of good things.
Yeah.
What is your favorite concert that you've ever been to?
Oh,
I think there's only one correct answer here, Doc.
I mean,
but like,
the Eras tour.
Yes,
Taylor
yes.
Swift. I mean, twice I did it.
oh, did you do it twice?
In 4 months.
It was
Yeah,
amazing. it was the best concert.
It was so good.
Yes.
It was, even now when I hear that,
It is. Yeah. I think my heart stops.
oh,
whenever
every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. Or when the countdown clock.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we could go
We
on.
could go on.
do
We
an
could do a whole
episode just
podcast.
about.
I would love to do a whole podcast.
Let's do it about Taylor, and we'll also add in Uncle Travi.
Yes. Oh, love that.
Okay,
But yes,
we're back.
yes,
Yes.
favorite concert. Do you have a comfort show or movie that you like to rewatch?
Yes. And people are going to be mortified when I share this. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the show In the Heat of the Night.
I have not. No. That's it.
That it is literally on Prime TV,
Okay.
and it is on 24/7.
Oh. Okay.
And so as soon as I get home from work
It's
every
on.
day, it is on. I know every single episode.
I love that.
I don't even have to open my eyes, and I know exactly what the episode is just by listening.
Yeah.
I am obsessed with it. It's my mom's fault, everybody. She started me on In the Heat of the Night, and I have picked it back up over the past year. It is the show.
Yes, I love a good comfort show. It's so great to just throw it on. If you could only eat one campus food forever, what would it be?
I mean, I go to Sloopy's literally every day.
Sloopy's is such a good one.
Sloopy's is so good. So I would probably say the grilled cheese and
Yes.
the tomato soup when they're offering it. If you've never had it, it is a must do. Oh, and the brownie. Just
Yes.
ask them to warm it up. It is chef's kiss.
So good.
So good.
Yeah, and also with a Coke too.
Oh,
Always.
yes. A very large Coke, not Diet Coke. No, that's not for me. Just the regular
Yes,
Coke.
regular Coke. What is a quote that really resonates with you?
There's never anyone you couldn't love once you know their story.
I love that. I love that you said that was one that was right
Easy.
right off, right from the heart.
Never anyone you couldn't love once you know their story.
I love that. What do you hope every Buckeye learns during their time at Ohio State?
How to be exactly who they are
That's amazing.
and be comfortable with evolving
Yeah.
as you go.
Yeah.
So freeing.
That's amazing. Well, that was the end of my rapid fire questions.
Oh
Thank
my
you, Doc,
gosh.
for answering
This was
all of those.
so much fun.
And having me here.
You are incredible.
Thank you, Doc.
Truly, you are incredible. This was so much fun. And I hope that for those of you that have watched and continue to watch the podcast, that this gives you just a little bit of insight more about why Docs Download exists. It's about sharing individual stories. It's about elevating our students and allowing them to stretch themselves and show just how fantastic they are. I feel very lucky that I got to spend this time with you today.
Me too, Doc.
And I am so excited about the many other episodes that we have coming up. You all, it's going to be a really fun season of Docs Download. I have an amazing group of people who have outlined some very cool shows coming up. So I hope that you will join us for the next episode of Docs Download, the podcast edition. Go Bucks! This program is a presentation of the Office of Student Life at The Ohio State University. The views expressed are those of the host and guest and do not necessarily reflect those of the university. Join us next time for another edition of Docs Download, the podcast edition.